So for these next couple of slides, I'm going to be talking about globalization and how we connected that to climate change, as well as modernization, westernization, and how the refugee crisis is connected in this as well. So globalization is just the integration of people, cultures, religion, ideas, economies, all of the above, resources that we share all throughout the world. So this is connected to climate change because as economies grow and merge, as more economies join the free market, more resources are going to be traded between countries, as well as the business activities that are going to follow from that. The extraction and the transportation to complete that transition of coming into a free market, it's going to be pretty costly for the environment to ship all of the resources, to build new infrastructure, to create new stores because things are popping up all over. It's gonna create a lot of carbon emissions because of all the fossil fuels that will be burned. And from the business activities perspective, there's going to be a lot more people traveling for work now. They're going to be traveling through trains, buses, airplanes, boats, any form of transportation. All of them pretty much use fossil fuels to work. So with that being said, on top of people using transportation more and us shipping things across countries more, these machines, this equipment, these things are going to have to be maintained. So if they're being used more, that means we're going to have to maintain them a lot more, whether that's replacing the parts, building an entirely new one, having to scrap that, and all those scraps, old machine, old equipments, old airplanes that don't work anymore, those are going to have to go somewhere, and they pile up fast. Another side of the shipping part and the transportation of all this equipment and resources, we do a lot of this through boats. We ship a lot of it in shipping containers, and this is actually really bad for the marine life in a lot of different ways. I kind of watched a documentary about it. It said that whenever the boats pass through the habitats, certain places where a lot of fish will live, kind of like reefs and stuff, the noises and the vibrations from the boats will disrupt the habitat. So if there's a certain port or a certain area where boats are going to be constantly traveling through, the fish will eventually migrate out of that area and they will not be able to live there anymore. Also from oil spills and oil spills that happen in the water, all that usually happens from transporting or of course oil rigs, but mainly transporting and stuff. So that can become an issue as well because of the food supply. The creatures that are higher up on that food chain, if they can't access food anymore, they're gonna have to disperse as well, or they can even become endangered because they can't find food anymore. So if we have a lot more transportation and all the countries are getting on board with the free market, this will happen in a lot more areas in the ocean. So we also connected this climate change to modernization and westernization, sorry. So modernization, it's just the development of cities and infrastructure that was designed in the West. It was an idea from the West. Versus where